If you are a chosen one, have you ever felt that there is something unique about your journey? As if you are destined to walk a path that few dare to follow? The truth is that for a small percentage of people, the 1%, this feeling is not just a hunch but a profound and transformative reality. And while it may seem like a burden, this journey is actually a rare privilege. It requires courage, resilience, and the ability to look within like never before. So, are you ready to discover what it means to be part of this 1%? Ready to understand the power of your purpose, the unshakable strength within you, and the peace that comes from living in alignment with your life's mission? Many people don't understand what is involved in this extraordinary path. They look at those who walk this trail with admiration and often with curiosity. But few know that this path is marked by deep and significant challenges that cannot be avoided. In this video, we will explore this rare sign that defines who belongs to this journey and how it can change your life, if you know how to recognize and embrace it. We'll talk about the strength that arises from adversity, the peace that comes after the storm, and the lasting impact that the 1% has on the world around them. Get ready for a transformation that goes beyond what you expect. It's not every day that you come across something that escapes the ordinary, but this rare sign leaves no room for doubt. It doesn't appear by chance, it's as if the universe plants a reminder on your path, something only a few can decipher. These people, often called the chosen ones, don't live an ordinary life. From an early age, they face challenges so out of the norm that they seem like pieces of a bigger puzzle. It's as if life constantly tests them, like that friend who accepts nothing less than their best. These signs are no coincidence, they are invitations to a singular journey. Have you noticed how certain people seem to carry an intensity that defies the norm? They walk into a room, and the atmosphere shifts, without doing anything explicit. This characteristic, which many might interpret as different or even strange, is actually a reflection of a soul in tune with something greater. It's not the clothes or the way they speak, but an energy, almost magnetic. It's the kind of thing that, for those who experience it, cannot be ignored. It's there, like a constant presence, even in the simplest of moments. Those who carry this sign feel, even if subtly, that life has a greater purpose. It doesn't matter if this understanding comes through a personal crisis or an inexplicable moment of ecstasy, what matters is that the call is undeniable. It's like being pulled by an invisible force, one that is often not immediately understood. But what few know is that this journey is not just about recognizing the sign, it's about being prepared for the challenges it brings. And here lies the secret that connects this initial perception to something deeper, the beginning of a unique path. This sign often appears as a silent but persistent challenge. It appears in life's transitions, when the world seems to turn upside down, or when the choices require more than simply going with the flow. For those few who recognize it, it's a direct invitation to a transformation that few are ready to embrace. The journey isn't about being someone special, but about being able to handle the uncommon, the unexpected, and learning to adjust without losing your essence. And it's in this inner strength that true distinction appears, the awareness that, although life is a testing ground, something much bigger is being prepared for those who are ready. The spiritual path of those who belong to the 1% is far from simple. It's not a calm walk, but rather a journey marked by intense emotional and spiritual turmoil. Each challenge is a ladder, not a barrier. It's as if life, in some way, continually tests the inner strength and resilience of these individuals. The trials that arise are not random, they are carefully placed, as if the universe is shaping these people for something much greater. And as you can see, none of this is easy. These challenges can appear in many forms: a devastating loss, a dream that seems to crumble, or even a break with old beliefs. It's exactly in these moments, when life demands the impossible, that the chosen ones show their true strength. Imagine someone facing a major setback and instead of succumbing, they find an opportunity for deep growth. Pain doesn't break them, it refines them. Every tear and every difficulty becomes a lesson of transformation, something that prepares the soul for a higher destiny. Along the way, the chosen ones undergo a series of internal changes that prepare them for a specific role in the greater plan of life. They don't know exactly what that role will be, but something inside them begins to align. They realize that, in some way, all their experiences are interconnected, all the falls and rises, all the sorrows and joys. What begins as a series of tests becomes a fluid dance of evolution, where each step brings them closer to their purpose. The key here is to understand that, although the path is difficult, it is also deeply transformative. It's as if every difficulty is preparing these individuals for a specific role, almost as if they are being tempered by life. They don't conform to the superficial, and the quest for deep answers leads them to question everything, even the very meaning of existence. Every event, no matter how simple it may seem, carries a vital lesson. Imagine someone who faces a failure, but instead of being defeated, they begin to understand that the experience was, in fact, preparation for something even greater. The journey is long, but at each stage, the chosen ones are being guided by something beyond common understanding. This constant preparation also brings with it a sense of being out of place at many moments. They may feel as if they are on a path few can understand, which, at times, brings loneliness. But it's in this process of growth that true strength is cultivated. And, interestingly, it's precisely by going through these periods of disorientation that these people discover a unique power, the power to maintain inner peace, even when everything around them seems to be falling apart. This is the essence of a unique path, a path that slowly reveals itself as each new challenge is overcome with courage and faith. Sometimes, life presents us with moments so profound and transformative that they define who we truly are. They are not mere challenges, they are tests from the universe, moments that force us to go beyond what we thought we were capable of. Imagine, for example, someone who loses a loved one suddenly. This kind of pain cannot be measured, but the way someone handles it can reveal something deeper, an inner strength that was previously unknown. These turning moments are, in fact, what define a soul. The challenges that arise as losses are often what truly connect us to our purpose. What may seem like an insurmountable abyss can, over time, transform into a bridge to a new version of oneself. A classic example is those who face serious illnesses or career upheavals, but instead of losing themselves, emerge stronger and with a greater clarity of who they are and what they want for the future. These moments are not just external changes, but catalysts for an inner evolution, something that the 1% experience as a journey of self-discovery. These defining moments of life are not limited to major crises. Sometimes, it can be a simple encounter, a moment of illumination that completely changes someone's perspective. When aligned with something greater, even small interactions can have a profound impact. It could be an unexpected meeting with someone that awakens something dormant inside you, or even an experience that seemingly holds no importance, but in the end, reveals itself as the key piece for the journey. These small awakenings often lay the groundwork for the great moments of transformation. Inner peace is the true hallmark of those who walk this unique path. It's not that superficial peace that comes from a simple moment of relief, but a deep calm that arises from overcoming great difficulties. Imagine someone who has been through intense emotional turmoil, like a loss or a significant life change, and instead of being consumed by anxiety or despair, manages to maintain a serenity that radiates to everyone around them. This peace is not a simple achievement, it's the direct consequence of many internal battles won. For those on this journey, inner peace doesn't come from the outside, but from a profound understanding of oneself. When someone dedicates themselves to overcoming their fears and limitations, peace arises naturally, as a result of a process of self-discovery. And this peace is visible to others. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to be a calm point in the middle of chaos? They don't need to do anything extraordinary, but their presence brings a sense of tranquility. This is one of the greatest signs that someone is in tune with their deepest truth, free from external distractions. Inner peace is also an anchor, something that keeps these people grounded when the world around them is in disorder. Imagine going through a global crisis, or personal turbulence, and instead of being swept away by the wave of negativity, you manage to maintain clarity and serenity. This doesn't happen by accident, it's the result of continuous self-awareness and spiritual growth. True peace is not shaken by external circumstances. On the contrary, it strengthens the individual, allowing them to navigate any storm with confidence and grace. This peace, which develops throughout an intense journey, is not a peace of inaction, but rather a peace that results from conscious action. Someone who reaches this state is not passive, on the contrary, they are always moving, but with an unshakable focus. Inner peace acts as a force that helps the person stay centered amidst adversities. For example, a person going through a relationship conflict, yet remaining calm, listening with empathy, not being swept away by emotions. They know that the true answer comes from inner silence, from a moment of reflection, and not from impulsive reactions. As this peace becomes more present, the person also begins to realize that it's not just a personal experience, but something that affects the world around them. The impact of this tranquility is profound. Those who attain lasting peace not only transform their own lives, but also the lives of those around them. This is visible in everyday interactions. A genuine smile, a word of support in difficult moments, or a serene attitude in the face of chaos. Inner peace, then, ceases to be just a mental state and becomes a transformative force in the world. Those who belong to the 1% possess an acute perception that goes beyond what most can see. It's not just a clear view of the world around them, but a deep perception of the hidden layers of reality. Imagine a simple situation, like a conversation between two people. For the chosen, each word is not just what is being said, but the energy behind it, the unspoken intentions, and the emotions that aren't verbalized. This ability to perceive the invisible is what makes these individuals so authentic and connected with the flow of life. This heightened awareness is not just a skill, but a way of life. Moving through the world, someone with this perception connects with what lies beyond appearances. They see patterns and connections that many overlook. An example of this can be seen in how a person handles challenges. For someone with sharper perception, every obstacle is an opportunity to learn something new about themselves and the universe. They can see the lessons life offers, even in the most intense moments of difficulty. This ability to see more deeply brings with it authenticity. By being aware of the energies that move the world, these people can stay true to themselves, even when external pressure tries to divert them from the path. They know when it's time to move forward, when it's time to step back, and how to act in accordance with their deepest truth. And, curiously, this kind of awareness makes these people more resilient, because they know that, no matter what happens around them, there is always a greater truth behind it all. As this awareness deepens, the individual becomes more intuitive. What once seemed like a simple reflection of cause and effect now reveals itself as part of a complex web of interconnections. They might enter a room and immediately sense the energy of the environment, or understand what someone truly needs without them having to say a word. This intuition is not a mysterious gift, but the result of a mind attuned to the subtle signals of the universe. The sharp mind and attentive soul make the answers reveal themselves naturally, effortlessly, as if being guided by a universal wisdom that transcends the rational. This heightened level of perception comes with a sense of responsibility. As they become more aware of the impact their actions have on others, these individuals begin to live more intentionally. What was once done on impulse is now considered with greater care. Every decision is made with the awareness that it resonates out to the world around them. This doesn't mean the person lives with overwhelm or anxiety, but that, by understanding the effects of their choices, they begin to act with more purpose, knowing that each of their actions has the power to positively influence the collective. Living with a clear purpose is the foundation upon which the people of the 1% build their lives. They don't get swayed by the distractions of everyday life or society's expectations. Every action, every step, is taken with a deeper intention, aligned with a greater mission. Imagine someone who dedicates themselves to a cause they believe to be their true vocation, whether in the field of art, education, or social service. This person lives with such a strong sense of direction that nothing can divert their attention from what truly matters, even when distractions try to impose themselves. When the purpose is clear, life takes on a new intensity. It's not about simply surviving, but living with meaning. A clear example of this can be seen in the stories of great leaders or activists, who, even in the face of immense adversity, continue to persevere because they are moved by something greater. They don't see challenges as barriers, but as part of the process to fulfill their mission. This sense of clarity provides an energy and resilience that cannot be explained simply by logic. It's something that transcends rational explanations. The purpose also acts as a guide, helping a person make important decisions throughout life. When someone is aligned with their purpose, each choice, no matter how challenging, becomes an opportunity to move toward their mission. It's as if life, in its entirety, conspires to help them become who they were meant to be. By staying focused on their true goal, these individuals become beacons for others, radiating positive energy and inspiration. They don't just live for themselves, but for the collective good, because they know their purpose goes beyond their individual existence. When someone lives in alignment with their purpose, what once seemed difficult and even impossible starts to become part of the natural growth process. Life no longer feels like a series of random events. It transforms into a journey filled with meaning, where every challenge has a purpose. For example, a person who has always dedicated themselves to healing, whether in medicine, alternative therapies, or even emotional support, may face personal obstacles such as illness or loss. However, they see each of these difficulties as a necessary step to strengthen their ability to serve others more deeply. It's not mere resistance but a continuous force that makes challenges turn into learning points. This deep connection to purpose brings a sense of fulfillment that can't be compared to the pursuit of material goods or social status. Someone living for a higher purpose feels their life has intrinsic value, something that cannot be measured by external standards. They aren't seeking validation because satisfaction comes from within. A good way to understand this is to think of great spiritual leaders or social entrepreneurs who, regardless of external rewards, continue to act because they know they are fulfilling something greater than themselves. They are moving the world towards something higher, and this energy is what keeps them in constant motion, never faltering. Resilience is a fundamental characteristic of the 1%. It's not just about overcoming difficulties, but about transforming each challenge into a stepping stone for personal and spiritual growth. Those who possess this resilience don't merely face adversity, they absorb it, learn from it, and grow stronger. Imagine someone who has experienced a great loss, but instead of succumbing to pain, they use that experience to strengthen their determination. The pain is not ignored, but embraced as an opportunity for evolution. This is resilience in its purest form. The secret to this unshakable resilience lies in the clear vision that life is not a battlefield to be won, but a series of lessons to be learned. For the 1%, every failure, every fall, is seen as an opportunity for ascension. If something doesn't work out, it simply means the path being followed needs adjustment. It's like a river that, upon encountering a rock in its path, doesn't give up on its journey. It adapts, flows around the obstacle, and continues forward with more strength. Resilience is precisely the ability to adapt and keep moving, even when external forces try to halt progress. To build this resilience, the 1% also learn to cultivate patience. They understand that success and growth don't happen in a linear or immediate fashion. A clear example of this is seen in great spiritual masters or high-performance athletes who, behind their triumphs, faced numerous failures and defeats before reaching greatness. They knew that to reach the peak, they needed to go through many falls and new beginnings. And each time they rose, they were stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the next challenge. This resilience also manifests in the ability to stay calm and focused in times of chaos. While many around them may succumb to panic or anxiety, the 1% maintains their serenity because they know that the storm, no matter how intense, will pass. This ability to remain centered is like a tree deeply rooted in the ground during a storm. It may sway with the wind, but its roots stay firm, providing stability for itself and those around it. Resilience, therefore, is not just about surviving but about remaining unshaken, even when the winds of life are strong. Another important aspect of the 1%'s resilience is their ability to reinvent themselves. When a situation no longer works, they don't hesitate to change direction. If a strategy fails, they find a new path. The key is not avoiding failures, but knowing how to adapt and make adjustments with confidence. This flexibility is a vital quality that makes the journey much smoother, allowing them to move forward, no matter how unexpected or challenging the next obstacle might be. And as this mindset becomes part of them, difficulties become easier to face because they know that, in the end, they will be stronger for everything they have overcome. The impact the 1% has on others is subtle but profound. They don't need to force or strive to leave a mark on the world. Their presence alone creates a transformative effect. This happens because their authenticity and alignment with their purpose are perceived by everyone around them. When someone truly lives their truth, without pretense, their energy naturally inspires others to do the same. It's not about being a public figure or gaining a large audience, but about being a model of integrity and authenticity. For example, a person who consistently lives honestly in their actions, expecting nothing in return, deeply influences those they interact with, even at a more silent level. This impact is also amplified by the calmness and clarity with which the 1% handles life's challenges. When others see someone going through difficulties, yet maintaining their inner peace, it becomes a living example of how to deal with their own struggles. There's no need for motivational speeches or grand declarations. Sometimes, the greatest message a person can convey is the way they react to a difficult situation. When adversity doesn't shake their serenity, others begin to wonder how it's possible to maintain such peace, seeking ways in their own lives to achieve similar balance. Moreover, the impact of the 1% often spreads, sometimes without them even realizing it. They touch lives in ways that are not always visible at the moment but create a wave of transformation over time. For example, a mentor who, without grand words, guides their protégés with wisdom and patience, might be changing the trajectory of many lives. This continuous effect of transformation, starting with one person, spreads exponentially, creating a legacy of genuine and lasting impact. The impact of the 1% is also often invisible in the traditional sense because it is not measured in numbers or public recognition. Instead, it is reflected in the subtle, profound transformations that happen in the lives of those around them. For example, a person may never realize how a simple gesture of kindness or an encouraging word made all the difference in a moment of despair. This is what makes their impact so special. It doesn't require effort to be meaningful. True change happens in the small moments, in the silent gestures, in the way a person behaves and responds to the world. This type of influence is not limited to one area of life, it permeates every aspect of human relationships. The 1% has a unique way of connecting with others, touching their souls in a way that often transcends words. In a work environment, for instance, this person may not be the loudest or the most visible, but their calm, fair, and patient demeanor inspires their colleagues to be better versions of themselves. They're not just living for themselves, but to create a positive effect on others, even without needing it to be recognized. This kind of natural impact spreads silently, but its reach is immeasurable. The legacy of the 1% is marked by the lasting peace they leave in their path. It is not a legacy of fame or material wealth, but of a tranquil presence and wisdom that transcends generations. They are not concerned with recognition, but rather with the peace they have cultivated and the transformation they have spread. Throughout their lives, these individuals touch the hearts of others so deeply that their influence remains long after they have passed. Imagine a mentor who, over the years, guided many, but never sought exaltation. Their true reward lies in the lives they touched, in the seeds of peace and wisdom they planted in each one. This peace is not merely an internal feeling, but a state that radiates to those around them. When you find yourself in the presence of someone who lives with such deep inner peace, it inevitably reflects in your own life. The 1% teaches, through daily practice, that peace begins within us, and once cultivated, it spreads to the world around us. It is a clear example of how personal transformation can create a collective impact. As people are touched by this peace, they carry with them the mission of spreading tranquility in their own spheres of influence, creating a virtuous circle of harmony. However, the legacy of peace of the 1% goes beyond direct actions. It is rooted in the way these individuals lived, in their constant example of integrity and balance. It is not peace that comes from avoiding conflict, but from facing it with wisdom, courage, and empathy. Through this example, many learn to resolve their own internal and external issues with more harmony. The impact that these silent leaders have is profound, and often, it only becomes fully visible after some time. What remains is the peace they perpetuated, a legacy of silent transformation, but an incredibly powerful one. This legacy of peace is reflected in how the 1% is remembered by future generations. Although they do not seek immortality, their teachings naturally perpetuate in the lives of the people they touched. Often, those who pass through their influence carry these lessons into their own families, friendships, and communities. It is not words or titles that endure, but the peace they transmitted with their existence. When remembering them, those who were touched often feel the need to pass on the principles of balance and harmony they lived, thereby perpetuating their legacy in an organic, silent, yet infinite way. This type of legacy is rarely planned, but it is a direct consequence of the authenticity of the 1%. There is no effort or intention to create an impact, but rather a genuine living of their truth, with a peace stronger than any words or actions. People who cross the path of these individuals feel the tranquility in their presence and learn, often without realizing it, to maintain that peace within themselves. This deep impact is not something seen immediately, but it reverberates over time, growing and expanding far beyond the actions of the one who cultivated it. Recognizing the rare sign within oneself is the first step to embracing the extraordinary path it points to. This sign, often subtle and silent, is like an inner compass that guides the individual toward a destiny of great purpose. Often, those who carry it do not immediately realize the weight and responsibility that it implies. It is not a common journey, but a call to something greater, something that requires courage, commitment, and above all, authenticity. This sign is unique and cannot be imitated, for it is intrinsically tied to the essence of who the person truly is. By recognizing this sign, the individual begins to realize that their life is not merely a sequence of random events, but rather a journey of spiritual learning and growth. This recognition, though uncomfortable at times, is the catalyst for deep transformation. The journey, often solitary and full of challenges, prepares the one who walks it for a role of silent but immeasurable leadership. It is as if each difficulty is a piece of the puzzle, which, when assembled, reveals the true purpose of that person's life. However, recognizing the sign also involves accepting the responsibility that comes with it. It is not enough simply to identify that you are one of these rare souls, but to act in accordance with this recognition, with courage and wisdom. It is the moment to take the first step, to commit to the journey, knowing that it will bring both challenges and immeasurable rewards. This is the turning point where the person begins to live more consciously, aligned with what truly matters. And once this path is started, it can no longer be ignored. Recognizing this rare sign also puts us before a choice, to follow it or to ignore it. Ignoring this sign is to remain in the comfort zone, where life is predictable and safe, but without true fulfillment. Choosing to follow this path, on the other hand, is committing to something that goes beyond what the mind can conceive. Often, those who begin to walk this journey realize that they are being guided by something greater than themselves, as if life itself had a plan for them. And this is not just a feeling, it is a truth that reveals itself as the path unfolds. This awakening, though powerful, can also be unsettling. The fear of committing to such a great destiny can cause many to hesitate or retreat. Yet, it is at this moment of indecision that the sign becomes even clearer. It calls again, like a persistent reminder, urging the individual not to deviate from their mission. By recognizing and following this sign, the person begins to live according to their higher purpose, aligning their thoughts, actions, and intentions with something that transcends the ego, touching the universe around them in ways that may not always be visible, but are felt. Throughout this journey, the true beauty of the extraordinary path begins to reveal itself. What initially seemed difficult and even unbearable transforms into a source of strength, a well of wisdom from which the 1% can draw not only for themselves, but also for those around them. With each challenge faced, with each insecurity overcome, confidence grows. The world around them begins to reflect this internal transformation, and life's situations seem to align more smoothly. The key here is persistence, the ability to keep going, even when the path seems murky or the rewards seem distant. This path also teaches us that the journey is not about reaching an end, but about living fully in each stage. The search for a greater purpose is not a fixed destination, but a series of moments of discovery, learning, and deep connections. True fulfillment comes from living each step, from understanding that true strength comes from within. The 1% who chooses to follow this path begins to realize that, deep down, they always knew, intuitively, that their life was destined for something beyond the ordinary. And by embracing this truth, they transform, becoming an unstoppable force, connecting with their deepest essence and with the universe in ways that once seemed impossible. Now it's up to you. Are you ready to apply everything you've learned about the 1% path? The journey will not be easy, but if you have the courage to move forward, the rewards will be profound. How about starting to reflect on the rare sign that may be revealing itself in your life? Identify it, embrace it, and prepare yourself to follow a path that few have the chance to walk. How can you incorporate more authenticity and resilience into your daily life? What steps can you take today to live aligned with your higher purpose? If this video made sense to you and you feel ready to take the next step, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue learning about spiritual awakening and the transformative journey of the 1%. Don't let this opportunity pass. Join us and start walking toward true freedom and fulfillment. Remember, the journey is yours, and you have the power to shape it. Let's go together.